Welcome back to the program. I'm Jimmy Dagate, and want to thank you for tuning in as always, and we appreciate you participating with the phone calls as well. We're going to go straight to the phone lines now after having heard today's news, and also just want to let you know up a little later, Bayou Lafourche Antique Show and Sale. Its 35th annual coming up on September 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we're going to be talking about that with Beth Stringer and Sue Herpel. And also Mr. Jack Croker will have some guests, Lee Schaefer, Dawn Pierron, and Danny Picu. And they'll be talking about the Independence Day celebration, both past as well as the planning for the future. So we're going to have all that tonight and more on Bayou Time. But first, let's get to the phone lines. Thank you for calling and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Jimmy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Last month, Mr. Bashry challenged me to do some research on the deficit. So I've completed my work, but I don't have it all posted on my website yet.
I don't know who Mr. Bashry is, but why don't you go ahead and just kind of tell us what you got?
Yeah, I'm sure Mr. Bashry knows Mr. Bashry.
Okay.
Concerning the deficit, if you want to compare today's deficit to get a better understanding of its size, World War I was comparable. I mean, the Civil War, the deficit during the Civil War was comparable to our current deficit. World War I was 1.5 times larger, and World War II was 3.5 times larger.
How are you making these comparisons?
From a graph through the government, through Congressional Budget Office.
Yeah, but what are they? I mean, what's the compare? I mean, obviously we owe much more money now than what we did in the Civil War years. But so how are they adjusting for the time difference?
Well, yeah, it's inflation adjusted.
Okay. So you think is it like a percentage of gross national product, or is it a percentage of revenues, or do you know?
Oh, very good, Jimmy. Yeah, it's a comparison to the gross domestic product.
Okay, all right.
Very, very good.
All right.
I failed to mention that.
That's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to get an idea, but go ahead.
Anyway, just to remind people how we got where we are, and our current debt is $14.1 trillion. When President Bush left office, we had the U.S. banking and the automotive industry that was at the point of collapse. We were in 2 wars. We were losing 800,000 jobs a month, and Republicans wanted to extend the Bush tax cuts, which should have sunset last December.
But didn't that involve Democratic support in order to get that done?
Well, yeah, because there was so much winding.
Okay. Well.
But anyway, 4 months before President Obama was inaugurated, President Bush, he really had to do something. Everybody was screaming that he needed to act because there were so many things that were going on at the time. And, of course, President Obama said, look, I'll get to it when I get in office. And anyway, in 2009, spending was $2.9 trillion.
Okay.
In 2008, spending was 2.9. That was under Bush, his last year. In 2009, spending is 3.1, and in 2010, spending is going to be 3.5. But when you go back in years, Jimmy, you'll see that they have these slight increases year to year. But when I hear that for some reason President Obama is spending a whole lot more money than any previous president, I challenge anybody to go out there and look at the actual revenue versus spending on each president.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, but let me just ask you, in your opinion, and then we'll get some more callers because we need to clear the lines, but Do we have a spending problem in the United States?
Well, we have a spending problem in the United States right now because we need to get back where we were. We don't have an average spending situation here. It seems like we have a president and the president before that felt like we had a need to act under the conditions we under. So yes, we do have a spending problem.
Well, why don't we fix the spending problem?
Well,
I mean, why do we have to raise taxes to fix spending?
Well,
you know, that's what I don't understand.
The money was spent over the last 8 years. The question
Well,
is,
I'll blame everybody. I mean, we have a spending problem.
the question is how soon do we want to come back, and should revenue be part of that balance to be able to
All right. I
reduce
understand
some of this deficit?
I understand your point. Thanks for calling.
Out here, Jimmy.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time.
What's happening, Papa Jimmy?
Hey, how you doing? Good.
It's Tricky Ricky.
I know. I can tell.
I'm in trouble already.
No, go ahead.
You going to that Saints game there, Jimmy?
Well, let's see. I don't know when the next home game is, but I don't know if I'll make that one. I'm going to wait for the first real season home game.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Right.
Definitely. I'll be watching. I'll be ordering me one of the Florida Elite cakes from Best Bakery with T. Rob and his wife
I got
and the
you.
crew of Best Bakery, because I can guarantee you we're going to be barbecuing and have one of the Florida Elite cakes, having a good old Saints good time.
There you go. Hey, nothing wrong with that. We
Oh,
hope
yeah,
the Saints do
definitely.
well.
But I want to give me a shout out to Cool Carl, a.k.a. Chop Chop Chopper. Chop Chop Chopper is Tricky Ricky.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Appreciate the call. Thanks for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Hello,
Hey, how are you?
am I on?
Yes, you are. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Last
Sure.
night I stood in line but didn't get on with Mr. Jeff Landry. Is it okay if I make a few comments
Sure, please
that I
go
would have
ahead.
made last night?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, first of all, he talked about, he was asked the question, whom do you feel running now could beat President Obama? And he said, just anybody. He said, we got to get this country running again. And I just wanted to clarify that statement and remind people, Jimmy, that the last 6 months that President Bush was in office, we lost 1 million jobs each month. That is a fact.
Right.
The next thing he said that was quite wrong is that the president's popularity in Louisiana, he said, it has always been bad. We know that. But the president's popularity is at 47 still, as far as likability. Now, he did not talk or brag about what the public thinks of the Congress. It is down to 14% for Republicans, and the Democrats, we Democrats can't brag much more. I think we're at 17 or 18. Right. So that is really sick.
No, it is, right.
And the other thing that upset me, because I had gone to his office, and Miss Jerry and Jacques, his assistant, were extremely cordial. They put me on the phone with him until I finally hung up, because neither one of us was changing the other one's mind.
Right.
But one thing he said that day, Jimmy, and he's still saying it, and a lot of people don't listen to news 20 hours a day the way I do. They believe that when that Jeff Landry speaks with a Cajun tongue, they're going to believe him. Now, when you go to a doctor's office, and I'm sure I know recently you've been, and it's good to have you back. When you go to a doctor's office, don't you sign your name on a list and they take you in order?
Yes.
Have you ever seen anybody being put ahead of you? I know if they were ahead of me and they weren't 99 or in a wheelchair, I would question it. Yeah. Well, what he said last night is, and this is very wrong, and I told him when I talked to him personally, if you find a doctor who is going to put a Medicaid person ahead of me just because they're on Medicaid, I want that doctor's name. And I said, if the Medicaid patient is in a wheelchair, sick, or older than I will give up my place. But he is letting people believe, and he said it last night, y'all can listen to the tape, that this is what's going to happen. These scare tactics have to go. I believe, and then he said another thing. He said, Democrats are great about taking a story, taking a lie, and that we lie, and just running with it and never letting go. And we know, and I'm saying, I'm giving him his due, is that Republicans are masters at this.
Well, I mean, you know, to me, that's individual, and that's not party labeled.
Right.
You know, people have individual integrity. If I'm a member of the Republican Party, that doesn't give me any more integrity than somebody if I'm a member of the Democratic Party. It's the individual.
It's how you act, and we have to be proud of our party, and we have to work for our parties, and we have to be careful about the way, and we have to be factual.
Right.
And what I have said here tonight, if y'all listen to the tape, he said, and I just resent some of the things that he's spreading around.
Okay. Well,
and another thing, the economy in Louisiana, here in Terrebonne Parish, the per capita income has gone up considerably in the last 2 years. We are not suffering economy, and the oil industry will never leave here. And he also said that we are not producing enough. I believe we are producing as much as needs to be done in the Gulf right now. Okay. Thank you, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you.
Good to have you back.
Okay, good.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate all of those comments. I understand that there's a difference of an opinion, and you know those are philosophical, which you know sometimes I kind of give my opinion on. I do want to say this though: what I find impressive about Congressman Landry is his continued dedication in representing this area, even though he's kind of been cut out of it for re-election. He hasn't slowed down, and he has continued, even though he's going to have to run in a completely different district. He's doing the job that he was elected to do here. Now, you may disagree with his politics as the last caller, and I certainly understand that. But I just wanted to kind of make that comment and thank Ms. George for calling in. We really appreciate her participation and her comments as always. Thanks for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time. Hello.
Hello, Jimmy.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, man. How you feeling, Jimmy?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
All right, you look good, man. You heard the news about Obama might give Edwin a pardon?
It might give what?
Edwin a pardon.
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
That was on the news last night, and they say he might run for governor if he get the pardon. He be able to run for governor. They say if he get a pardon.
Well, I think Governor Edwards's place in history has pretty much been cast. I think it would be a mistake. This is for him to run for governor. That's just
somebody talked to him on the news last night. And he said he's gonna think about it.
Well, and then that's fine. I think Governor Jindal's gonna be hard to beat. But look, if he wants to go ahead and run, if he gets a pardon, obviously.
Yeah, I hope he do too, Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, that's up to him. I just think he's kind of.
If he run for governor, I'll vote for him, Jimmy.
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
he did good for Louisiana when he was governor. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people would vote for him. I do understand that.
I know he did wrong too. Don't get me wrong.
But I think his days as governor.
Doing wrong, Jimmy.
Right. But I think his days as governor, just my personal opinion, are behind him, and that's just what I think.
Yes, sir. How the grandbaby?
Oh, doing just fine.
That's good. Yeah, I want to say one more thing about the economy, Jimmy.
Sure.
I've been talking about this a long time. I think the governor and representatives and the senator and the president ought to sit down and think what I'm going to say. You might laugh at me, but they'll sit down and think about taking people off of welfare, get them jobs, and pay them a decent wage, $15 an hour. The government going to prostrate in 2-3 different ways. They're going to save money on welfare.
Okay.
They're going to tax and Social Security money off of them people, and that's going to boost the economy. That's what it would take, Jimmy.
Well, I think you've made that comment before. I understand exactly what you're saying.
I don't know why they don't think about that. Look at that.
Well, I guess we'd have to ask some of those people who are in power, but I understand your comments.
Yeah, because it'd be better off that way, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, I can't tell you that, but I understand that it could be viewed that way.
The only one they don't take off on welfare is the old people that's sick, that's crippled, can't do nothing.
Yeah,
but all them young people who could work there,
right.
and you know, give them a decent wage and let them go to work.
Yeah, I think there should be incentives to get off of government assistance as opposed to incentives to stay on.
Yeah, they need to do something in this country, Jimmy,
Right.
because, you know,
I
it ain't
understand.
good, man. Look, I'm going to let you go because I know you got a bunch of calls, and take care of yourself and have a good weekend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the
Well-
call, as always. Let's see, and of course, we probably need to take a break, so why don't we do this right now? Let's take a break. The phone lines are open, 879-1231. We can talk about any of the issues that you would like to talk about. I know there was the recent tragedy that occurred in Thibodaux. That's an ongoing story as well, but you can talk about that if you want. Any of the topics are all open, but we do need to break, and we'll be right back.